Hey there, thanks for joining me. My name is John. This is the Christian Media Marketing Show. And whether you are listening, whether I'm in your ears, or you are watching and you're seeing me with your eyes, well, thanks for spending some time with me, with our Kavanaugh Media team, with just a tribe, a community of people that are trying to make Jesus famous, leveraging technology, digital tools, social media, any way we possibly can to try to continue to refine and our craft to continue to get better at sharing, at finding new ways to make Jesus known. There's still billions who need this opportunity to be able to do that. And through digital means and social media, we have the opportunity to do that. So on behalf of Kavanaugh Media, as a business as mission, which means this, that we have people that pay us to do this work. That's how we make a living. That's how I provide for the families that are a part of Kavanaugh Media, is through the support and generosity of those who pay us to do this work. This podcast and this video training is not one of those. So if you hear me promoting something, it's because I believe in it. I'm not getting paid from that. We're not getting paid from that. We are doing this as this is our part to be open-handed, to share what we can with those of you who are out there, because you are our heroes. And I mean that. We talk about that as a team here at Kavanaugh all the time. That those of you who are on the field, whether it be overseas or maybe even just in a church, wherever you might be, this show is being watched in over 83 different countries, is what the data is showing us. That's amazing. And so wherever you are, you're our heroes when you're out there trying to make Jesus famous. And you're evangelizing, you're discipling, you're doing digital engagement. So thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of what you do. Thank you for those of you who have hired us to come alongside of you to help do that work. Thank you for all of you who are out there who are just contributing, giving us ideas, praying, letting us know that you appreciate what we're trying to do. I do want to make it very clear that we are in no way saying we have all the answers, that we are the experts and our way is the right way. Not at all. We're making mistakes. We have scars to show it. We are just grace thankful people, flawed and sinful individuals who are so thankful for God's grace and love in our lives. And it's because of that's why we do what we do and why we want to share in any possible way we can the things that we're learning, the things that we are seeing that's out there. So this podcast is the second part of a continuation of doing A/B testing for your websites. If you did not watch episode 170, which is just amazing to me, 170 weeks worth of episodes and of training. If you go back and look at some of the early ones, some of them are just flat out wrong now. I mean, things just keep changing all the time. But some of the strategies and the philosophy and some of the other teachings, it's still spot on. So if you've not seen those, go back. But especially last week's episode, as it talks to you, and I share with you how to set up Google Tag Manager and how to set up some of these things so that you can best utilize Google Optimize. Google Optimize is a tool that lets you do A/B tests. In fact, you can do other types of tests on your website. This is really important. We need to be learning not just what's happening on the ad, but when people come to our sites. Your site, you own it. It's like a library. Where are people going? What are they checking out? What are they watching? What are they doing? Are they downloading your Bible? Are they clicking on Bible reading plans? What are they doing on your site? And what we see is that little things can sometimes make a big difference. And even if it's just a little difference, if you add up enough of them, you can get a pretty big impact from them. So we're going to dive in today and we're going to look at an A/B experiment. Now, like I said, if you did not go through and look at last week's episode, I would encourage you to do that, because that is where I show the setup part of all of this. We're going to dive right into Google Optimize today and create an experiment. Okay, we're just going to try an experiment here and try to create an A/B test and see what happens. So let's dive into it. Here we go. I am right here in Google Optimize, and within that you log in. It is even saying here you can now link it with your Google Analytics 4 properties. So that is something new that we are seeing that you can do. So you're going to get to the screen. You're going to have your settings are all going to be set up. So you're going to have your container, your ID, your analytics one. You can install the script only on a certain page if you want, or do the Google Tag Manager, which is what I was showing you last week. You install the Chrome extension here, the Google Chrome extension, and that's going to help you as well. So all of these things are set up. That's what we did in the last week's episode. Now we're going to create the experiment. So here's the screen. You can look through here and see it says let's go. So I love it. Let's go. Let's create our first experience together. So when you do that, you're going to name it. And I'm going to name this one test, and just because it's for the podcast here, and then it gives you what type of experience would you like to create: an A/B test, multivariate, redirect, personalization, banner template. We're going to do an A/B test here. Unless you understand statistics of things like chi-square analysis and really multivariate statistical analysis, I really would encourage you to keep it simple. Okay, just do one test. You can do more and more and more tests, but try to keep it simple so that you know, hey, it's kind of like the eye doctor. When they put those goggles in front of you, the eye things, and they go, is this better, worse, the same? That's what we're trying to do here. And so one click, one change, how does it affect your vision? Is it better, worse, or the same? Same thing. Let's pick one thing and test it. So we're going to pick an A/B test, right? Now, here it's asking us for the URL of the page you'd like to use. So this is called your editor page. So I'm going to put on here just a test page that we use to demo Echo Global sometimes with teams that we're working through. So there's the website, cavanaughmedia.com/Echo, and we're going to do an A/B test. I'm going to hit the blue create button, and now we're here into this draft mode. So first things first, and we're just going to work from the top of the screen down, we need to add a variant. So you name it. I'm just going to leave it in the default name here, variant 1, and I'm going to click done. If you wanted to do something like remove a certain button, all right, you could say whatever that button was or do whatever else on that, and I just spelled certain wrong, so that's why I'm in ministry here. All right, remove a specific. How about that? I'll just call it that. Specific button. All right, and then we'll hit done. So whatever it is that you're testing, all right, so you see here now under variants, it's got your original website page and then the variant, which is the removing a specific button. And it's weighted 50-50, which means 50% of the time of those coming to your website, they'll see the original site. 50% of them will see the site that has been modified. Right? And that's how we're able to test this element. You can change these percentages if you wanted to as well. And you could add more variants. Don't do it. Just keep it simple. All right. So as we're moving down, here we're going to see the edit button. So I'm going to click here under edit. And now it's going to open up the actual site that we're going to be editing. And it has everything you see on here is now selectable. This is all part of the CSS and what's happening on the site. So let's say here on this page, if you're watching the video, you can see it. If you're listening, it's just basic, really basic page. No formatting, nothing done to this. This is just a demo page I use when showing people how to use Echo Global. But let's say we want to take off this click here to chat using Telegram button. I would click on that. All right, and here it's highlighted it. Now I'm going to click on the blue edit element and I'm going to put remove. And now it's gone. All right, and now I'm going to hit save. Now, pretty simple. Click then the blue done button. It's all showing up right there. So it takes us back into Google Optimize, and it says remove a specific button 50% of the time. When you go to this website, 50% of the time, the audience won't see that button to send us a message on Telegram. So see how we're changing up? We can change text, we can add text, we could change the color of that button. There's a ton of stuff that we can do through this test. So then when the URL on the targeting matches CavanaughMedia.com/echo, that's when this test is going to run. We're going to do it on all visitors to the page. So we could do it here. We could say, oh, when it's only certain things or only certain Google ads are sending traffic to it. Lots of different things we could do here. All right. Geographic area, when they're coming from a certain browser or mobile versus desktop. All right. A returning versus new visitor to your site, all of these things. But we're just going to say everybody who visits the site, 50% of the time we'll see it with that button, 50% of the time they'll see it without it. And then the key there would be, what are you wanting? What is your objective? Okay, so that's the next part down here. So when we get down into this area of objectives, now it's saying, okay, here's your Google Analytics, all website data. This experiment ID will show up in your analytics as well. Here's your objective. And so when you click, there's a button that says Add Experiment Objective. We can create a custom one or choose from a list. We'll choose from a list, and now we have different objectives. 5 minutes time on site, bounces, page views, revenue, session duration, transactions, whatever. So let's say we wanted to do a time-based one. By removing that button, does that get people to stay on the site longer? All right, or page views or whatever. But maybe that doesn't fit what you want to do. Well, then you can press that button and do Create Custom. And when you do that, then you could say, well, what event do you want? So this is just like you do any one. So let's say you have a download the Bible or a message us button. You can put that event label in there of however you have set it up. This is why Google Tag Manager is so important. And when you've set that up, now all of a sudden you can see, save this, you would be able to see if your changes are making an impact on that direct objective of messaging or Bible downloads or whatever. So we would say here, let's just choose, I'm going to choose a fast one from the list, and we'll say 5 minute time on site, and then we would go down. All right. So then the bottom part of the page is optimize installation. You can check to make sure that it is installed. I've already done that. It says this here. It's verified with no errors. But if you're not sure, click that check installation. Make sure it comes back with the green check arrow. You can get notified as things are happening on the site. All right. Who all is eligible, all traffic, when the page loads, do this, and now everything is ready. So I'm going to hit start. All right, and it's just saying, are you ready to start the experiment? Receive email notifications. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to hit start, and it's going to think, and now we're going. And now you see it on the screen. If you're watching here, it says running. It even then says that when this experiment will stop. So December 15th. So this is running for quite a while to see what would happen on the site. And so if you go to our website right now, you could go to CavanaughMedia.com/echo, and you could press a button that would send a message to our responders in certain locations. Don't do it. All right, please don't spam us with messages there. It's going to confuse our responders. But you could do it, and you might see that Telegram button, or you might not see it as well. So now we have an experiment, and now we can come back to see, does this change on our website make a measurable and a noticeable difference to the objective that we have chosen? It's all going. It's all there. You know what else is really cool about this? It's all free. It's just free software. It's free technology that you can be leveraging. So I hope that it is something that you will want to try, because I think it's fascinating to try to just discover little things, colors of buttons, placements, creating more white space, adding your call to action button in more than one location. All these things can make a big difference sometimes, but you won't know unless you're testing. And this is why data is important, because so many times people say, well, I think this, or I've read this here or there. Until you've ran test, you don't know what's actually true for your location, your people group, your area, the people you're trying to reach. All right, so hopefully that's a benefit to you. Next week, we're going to have an interview. I'm going to be interviewing Sean. He's going to be on our show here. Sean is our digital marketing manager. He's also my son. His background is in marketing. That's his degree, and he is really good at what he does. He's doing it a ton. In fact, he's touching more of our ads from Kavanaugh than I do by far at this point, and I'm learning new things from him as well. So I'm going to introduce him to you that next week, Lord willing, and he's even going to share some insights and stuff. We're just going to have a conversation and invite you into that. So I hope you'll join us for that next week. If you have questions you would like for me to be asking him, send me some messages. You can send me a direct message right on Twitter. I'm on there. You can do it through our Kavanaugh Media site on the Contact Us page. Love to hear from you. As always, if you would, if you're listening to this as a podcast, will you give us 5 stars and let us know that you're watching and listening to it? If you're watching this on the YouTube link, will you subscribe? Will you just press that button? You see it right here on your screen. Will you just subscribe to it? And will you give us some feedback as well? Will you give us some positive comment? This just helps more people see it. That's what it's really, really doing. And it encourages us. This is a labor of love for you. We love you all. We appreciate you. And just thank you for all that you're doing to make Jesus famous. Until next time, take care and God bless.